And with continued use, the Healthy Probiotic gives you long-term digestive support.
My tummy loved that.
Works now and later. That's the digestive advantage, with formulas for gas, constipation, lactose intolerance, and intensive bowel support.
Welcome back to the show. I am Fred Dreyer, your host, right here on crntalk.com. I am hovering at 63,108.99 elevation, and we are strapped in, prepared to dive bomb the pernicious peddlers of the pornographic politic. And man, there's a lot of them. There's an awful lot of pernicious peddlers of the pornographic politic. And Pat Buchanan's always had his thumb on the situation and has been very prolific in his, not only his opinions publicly and through the media. We've all heard Pat speak before, at least most of us have. And in his books, his great books, you know, he put his books side by side, and it's probably a good 5 feet wide. You know, and they're nice, tasty books too. You get to jump into them and scan them and rummage around and see all kinds of great things in there. You know, I kind of look at it this way: I crack into it and I'll see a topic he'll talk about, and I'll go there and I'll hop around a little bit. I don't read his types of books, you know, from the beginning to the end, because they're so rich. I want to get to some of the things he's talking about, and what he's talking about right now is what the subtext. What I like about Pat when he talks is straightforward, pulls no punches, doesn't care. He doesn't care about being punched out by the liberal media. But what he does is he talks openly and clearly about the things he believes in, and he backs them up with research, and it's common sense and reason, as I say. And when he talks about unnatural and immoral behavior, that's what he's talking about. And we're sorry if that offends anybody. And it does in this culture. It certainly does offend people. And we've got a little a bite here from Pat, and he's talking about Obama in the issue of gay marriage. Number 3, Tom.
He is not going to put gay marriage into the Democratic platform. If you believe in it deeply, why not? Mitt Romney says he supports a constitutional amendment upholding traditional marriage. Does Barack Obama support a constitutional amendment which upholds same-sex marriage? No. The very behavior of the President of the United States, I think, indicates that this is not something he really wanted to do, or he wants this election decided on.
Exactly. And the subject matter is, the subtext of all of this is how stupid his vice president is. What an idiot for Joe Biden to say he believes it's time to have a union and have rights for everybody, so everybody who's gay can just be married. That sunk the president. He had to immediately fold in behind that and cover up and come out with this position. I think it would have been better, and I was laying around, the house the other day, doing some jumping jacks, thinking about all this stuff, and I said it would have been better if the president would have come out and said, Joe Biden has his own opinions. They don't represent the party's or mine. Next case, and move on. And if any president at any point in time in the country, in the country's history, and in our history, would be able to do that and get away with it and have the papers just dial it down and move on, it would have been him right now with this media. But instead, he had to pander to the group. Why? Because he wants them to give them money. They're going to North Carolina. And they're gonna go there, and he's asking all the gay groups, and he's trying to be all inclusive to everybody. And after all, everything is just okay with the people on the left. Everything is okay. You can sodomize, you can marry a dog and a cat. That's coming next, by the way. You can do anything you want to do and call it normal. My position on this, ladies and gentlemen, is that people live their lives in this country freely, with liberty and justice for everybody, under the Constitution, under the King James Bible, the Old Testament. They live in this country, and they're able to have an open life. But once they start getting into a position where they've got to put it into politics so they can manipulate people emotionally and drive people into the gutter with the politic of their behavior, they have got, the argument now is, what are you talking about? Everything we're doing is just as equal as you are. Our sodomy is just as equal to your heterosexual sex and everything else. And you can't discriminate. You can't talk about my behavior because we're all equal. It says so. It says so. And we're gonna push it down your throat, and we're going to tell you that our behavior is normal and it is just as worthy as yours, and therefore there's no difference between anybody. Everything is the same. There's no difference between anybody whatsoever.